don't want to do either of those things.
Yeah, but if you had to, though.
We set the scene, we have a choice. We must decide on the correct answer. I'm Kyle.
And I am Nathan.
And this is If You Had To, though. If You Had To, though, recording on a Monday for a change. Very rare occurrence.
Giving away some of the behind-the-scenes secrets there, Kyle.
Should we tell them the day that we usually record on?
I mean, can they guess? What kind of day energy do we give off on a normal podcast?
I think it's pretty obvious the day energy we give off when we usually record, but I'll leave that up to the
day.
Exactly. I'll leave it up to your imaginations.
Exciting stuff right off the bat.
See, now we're getting people guessing, like right from the start of the show.
Yes, what day do they record this podcast on?
Oh, I tell you what we could do, Nathan.
Tune in next week for our another exciting question. What colour socks is Kyle wearing?
What we could do is tell them the day that we usually record on, but do it at the end of the episode, so they have to listen through the entire thing.
Ooh, an incentive.
An incentive, yeah.
For all those people that accidentally pressed play on this podcast and then were trying to decide if they should stop it or not. Now they have an incentive to actually listen to this episode.
Exactly. Like if someone stumbled across this and gone, oh, that's a weird picture of a couple of guys looking at the camera funny,
and their eyes seem to follow me around the room as if it's staring right into my soul.
I'll just press play, and if they ask an intriguing question that I might find the answer to, then I'll listen until I get the answer. And now,
what everyone bases their podcast listening reasons on.
Yeah. So
did they ask the question?
Maybe that should be a new thing we do. At the beginning of every episode, we ask a tantalising question that we will answer.
Oh, okay. So this week, it's what day of the week do we usually record the podcast on?
Yes.
Is it? I mean, I can't imagine how are we gonna beat that next time, Kyle? We're really gonna have to sit down and think.
Well, you've already come up with the one about what colour of my socks.
I mean, I'll just give away as a clue. I'm currently wearing a black sock and another sock that says Saturday on it.
Interesting, intriguing even.
I have not only two different coloured socks, but one says a day of the week, which it is not.
No, as we say,
this is the kind of chaotic life that I lead. And I don't let anyone tell me what kind of socks I can wear.
Exactly. Yes, so we are recording on a Monday, which feels very strange and different. Garfield wouldn't be happy.
He would not be happy, no.
So the premise of this show is that we create scenarios for each other, resulting in two possible outcomes. We'll discuss each outcome's pros and cons and decide definitively on the correct answer.
Exactly. We will come to the correct, exact truth. Like the truth you're going to find out at the end of this podcast if you listen.
If you can sit through it. Which I don't think
you can handle it. If you're man or woman or octopus enough to handle this episode.
Oh,
that's it. That's the three genders.
That's the three genders.
That's what I've decided.
Yeah. Well, usually when you get the that form and it says man, woman, octopus.
Man, woman, octopus.
Yeah, and I usually waver between man and octopus.
Yeah, it depends on how you feel on the day. Are you a man or are you an octopus?
Yeah.
Do you feel the tentacles rising? Which is not an innuendo. I realised it sounded like one.
Do you feel the tentacles rising? Wow. Getting off to a great start.
Hey, babe, you make my tentacles rise.
Disgusting. Oh, also, I wanted to mention I've had my second vaccine, so I'm immortal now.
Yes. Kyle has now been vaccinated against death.
Yes. That's what it means. They said you are completely fine, nothing can hurt you. I laugh in the face of COVID. I lick doorknobs and lampposts. I don't care.
Yes. He ran home from the hospital licking every person's face that he saw.
Exactly. Open all the clubs. Let's go. I'm ready.
But just for Kyle. He's the only one that's immortal. So it would just be Kyle alone in a club dancing away.
I will
dancing
be
the night
in the centre of that nightclub, boogieing my heart out, Nathan. You can
Or
guarantee.
strutting your stuff.
Strutting my sexy stuff for no one.
Move those funky feet.
Yes.
Boogie on down. And other cool, relevant phrases of the current decade in which we live.
This current decade, this current month, and this current day, which is a Monday.
Exactly.
As we've
It
said.
is a Monday.
So everyone who's a big Nathan fan knows that Nathan is a Z-list celebrity.
Exactly. Yep.
You are a Z-list celebrity. You are the lowest rung of celebrity, but you are a celebrity nonetheless.
Exactly. People see me in the street and they go, "Who is that? That's someone, isn't it?" Huh. And yep, everyone does that.
Did I see him in the background of Coronation Street handing an apple to a child?
I mean, I might have just been doing. I wasn't cast. I just turned up on Coronation Street and gave an apple to a child.
You just randomly wandered into the Coronation Street set.
Exactly.
With a bag of apples, like you do.
I mean, if you look carefully enough, now this is a game for the listener at home. Every single TV show ever, I have somehow been in the background of giving an apple to a small child.
It's very blurry.
Even like cartoons.
Yes.
In the back of SpongeBob SquarePants, I walk underwater and give an apple to a small squid.
Exactly. On the ship of the Titanic, you're there in the back.
Exactly. Actually, I'll give it away just for that one movie. I'll give away where I was. While Rose and Jack are having passionate sex in the car, in the window behind, you can just see me walking by with an apple.
Yes, and oh, you're not giving it to a child in that film.
I don't think it's appropriate for a child to be in that room.
No, it's not a very appropriate scene. Unless the child was being like sneaking up to the window and looking in. But I don't remember that being in Titanic.
Inappropriate. That's much more inappropriate.
You know what kids are like, whippersnappers.
Watching people have sex in cars?
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a thing kids do. It's not a thing kids should be doing.
Oh, I think I may need to talk to you about my childhood after this. We need to have a therapy session.
Oh yeah, I mean that's our other podcast, Kyle's Traumatic Past, which we do record every week on a Monday.
Yes, we do record and we're foregoing it for this gem.
Exactly. Yeah, but Kyle's mental health is not as important as this podcast.
No, exactly.
Which is what I said to his mother when we talk about him behind his back.
You do that. She said it was all in my head. I knew you were talking about me behind my back.
No, we're not. No one's talking about you behind your back. You're just imagining things, Kyle.
Who? What's going on? I'm confused. Anyway, Nathan, you're a Z-list celebrity, and you get a phone call from Australia. G'day, mate. How you doing?
Oh, crikey. I mean, that's how I answered the phone. I just went, oh, crikey, before I knew it was an Australian calling me. It's how I answer every call. It's how I found out my father had died. Oh, crikey. We have something terrible to tell you. Oh, no, mate.
Also, I love your Australian accent. I thought mine was weird. Anyway, yes. Mate, we want you to be on I'm a Z-list celebrity. Get me the hell in there.
Didgeridoo, dingo.
And yeah, you are thrilled. You're like, yes, I will go on that show. This is going to bump me up to like F-list celebrity at least.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, you go on that show and then you go on, I'm a celebrity, get me in there. The after hours show.
The after hours show.
Then you go to, I'm kind of a celebrity island.
Yep, of course.
Then you go to, I've made a mess of my life and this is my comeback mansion.
Mansion, wow. So at least you get a mansion and you get to hang out in the hot tubs.
Exactly. And then I'm desperate for a career in the spotlight, deaf arena battle. You know, those are the 6, which I did not count the number. It could have been more or less that I just named off there. But those are the number of shows that you need to go on to really rebuild your shattered career as a celebrity.
And that is our first fact for the episode.
If you want a life as a celebrity, you have to go to all of these places and it culminates in a fight to the death against other Z-list celebrities. The only way you climb out of Z-listhood is on the corpse of your enemies.
All the other extras, you just claw at their faces, push them
Exactly.
down into the dirt, and you stand
Only
victorious.
one of us can give that apple to that child.
As Luke was fighting Darth Vader, you're just there in the background. If you look very, very closely.
Exactly.
So you rock up in Australia and you go on this show and you have to, sleep rough for a few nights, and then they bring you in to do the big trial. And this is what's going to ignite your career. If people see you doing something this brave, then you're going to rocket to stardom. And you've got the two guys who present it, Rick and Dick.
Rick and Dick. And his brother, Bickenbrack. Rick and Dick and his brother Brickenbrack.
Oh,
those are the two presenters.
Those are the two presenters. It's not Rick and Dick. It's Rick and Dick and Brickenbrack. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, of course. I remember now. So Rick and Dick and Brickenbrack. Say that 5 times fast.
Rick and Dick and Brickenbrack. 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 Rick and Dick and Brickenbrack.
Fantastic. Flawless, even. So Rick and Dick and Brickenbrack.
These are the kind of skills you need to be a Z-list celebrity.
To hand those apples to those children.
That was my first famedom. Say ridiculous phrases 5 times fast. Which only lasted one season on channel 67.
Oh right. What you were in it?
I was in it. Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't the winner. I came third in that show.
Still quite impressive.
I couldn't talk about Shelley selling those seashells on the seashore quick enough.
See, that's the one that always gets them.
It did. It was a devastating setback in my career.
Mm.
This trial in the Australian is it in a jungle? I didn't even establish.
Sure,
this is my chance to make up for my devastating failure.
Yes, exactly. By the end of this, you'll be able to do Peter picked a peck of pickled peppers with ease.
Yeah.
So Rick and Dick and Brickenbrack, they bring you out and they say, okay, mate, so what we're going to do is we're going to give you the challenge, and you've got a choice, okay? And they bring out a glass tank full of bees. And they also
a glass tank full of bees!
Yes, and they also take out a box full of 10 thick grubs.
Oh.
And they say to you, okay, mate, so to stay in this competition and show your bravery and to obviously become more than a Z-list celebrity, what you got to do is either stick your head in this tank full of bees or eat all 10 of these grubs. They're alive, by the way.
Oh, that's a hell of a by the way. But also, are there other contestants? Are there people that I'm competing with to do this?
Yeah, they're all Z-list celebrities as well.
Oh, okay.
There's obviously Kathy Jones, who stands in the background of EastEnders kicking stones at cats.
Yeah, there's Jimmy Krabs, who was the sexy heartthrob on Heartbeat.
Yeah, the sexy throb on heart.
The sexy throb on Heartbeat.
The sexy throb. Wow. Yeah, but as a Z-list celebrity, obviously he was always in the background, never had any speaking roles. They would just say, "Oh, look."
Since that show ended like 500 years ago, he's not done anything since.
No. Yeah,
Of course, Sally Tickles, a pop star sensation singer who lost her voice she now currently has a mermaid tail. She sold her voice to lose her legs. That was her origin story.
I mean, she sounds pretty cool, actually. I think she, like, if you don't do this, she is going to win.
Oh, so God. Yeah, they roll her up in a tank, and I just look at her like, oh, you think you're so cool with your tail? And I try and wag my butt in a similar way that she's wagging her tail. It doesn't have the same effect.
It doesn't, especially considering you've got your trousers round your ankles.
Oh, yeah. I did, yeah.
You dropped trowel.
I did drop trowel.
So, yeah, Nathan, you've got this choice to make on this fantastic game show. But what would you choose to do?
Wait, what were the options again? There's the glass cage full of bees, and I have to...
Stick your head in it for 10 minutes.
Stick for 10 minutes. Or eat all 10 giant shrubs?
Grubs. Big, wiggly grubs. And they're all alive. So not only would you be eating 10 grubs, you would be committing 10 murders.
I'm just trying to think. How big is a grub?
A grub? Fairly large, I would think. Although I'm going by the things that the pig eats in The Lion King.
Yes, they are appetizing.
Big, thick, white grubs.
Huge, wormy, slimy creatures that I would have to eat alive. 10 of them that are all wiggling around. Or put my head in a cage filled with bees for 10 minutes. How have they designed this cage that I can put my head in, but the bees aren't escaping?
It's like a glass tank. It's like a
Yes.
big glass tank that you put your head inside of.
But like the hole for the head, how are the bees not getting out?
It's where they live, I guess.
Oh, okay. This is just where the bees live.
Yeah, they like to live in this tank. They feed the queen in there. They make honey. Do
In
bee
the glass
things.
tank, the producers of this show just put up a poster of a sexy bee, and all the bees don't want to leave.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bee strip joint. So, the effects of putting my head into a glass cage filled with bees for 10 minutes would be uncomfortable. I mean, bees don't necessarily sting you.
They don't necessarily sting you, no, not unless you're invading their home, which we've just established that this is.
Could I,
Yeah.
before I put my head into the glass tank, disguise myself as a bee?
Yeah, there is a guy on hand who can paint your face. He's got like these face paints and he paints you up to look like a bee.
So that's an option. The other
Yeah.
option is...
I don't know that it would do any good, but you could do that, yeah.
The other option is to walk in and eat 10 grubs,
Yeah.
which would take a while.
Yeah. You'd have to
and it-
chew through them.
I was going to try and swallow them whole, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Swallow them whole so
Although
they
I'd
might
thought
still be
thinking
alive.
around oh, God, yeah, you're right.
You could feel it crawling down your throat. Mm.
Mm,
Delightful.
just beautiful. I mean,
Do you think we should have put a warning at the beginning for people who are squeamish? Or
have...
maybe I should have put a warning at the beginning for you, Nathan, by the look on your face at the moment.
Oh, that is a tricky one, because the bees...
Yeah.
They might not accept me as one of their own. You know, I'd paint myself up. I'd go in and go, bzz, bzz, how's it doing, fellow bees? Oh, gotta get that honey. Oh, I just love the queen. But, you know, they might see through my clever ruse. Whereas the grubs, there's no way around this. There's no clever way around this problem with the grubs. I can't. I was thinking maybe if I swallow them whole, I don't have to chew them. But then I've got 10 living grubs inside of me. It's not like I can just store them in my mouth and then spit them out after I'm out of the tank. I have to eat them. Oh boy. Oh, am I allowed before I go into the glass tank to get a giant blender?
No, what? You're in the outback. Why the hell would you be able to go and get a blender?
Oh, there's not a local hardware store.
You're in this competition, Nathan. You're not like free to roam around. Like as soon as you leave, you're out. You've lost the competition.
So there's someone in the corner who can paint me to look like a bee, but there's not an electrical appliance store in the middle of this jungle.
It's like a theme show. This like they've got like clowns, they've got jugglers, they've got a face painting guy. It's like everyone else there is having a lovely time. They're also doing a kid's birthday party. There's another guy.
So in the middle, like, there's a kid's birthday party, and they're all going, "Happy birthday, Timothy! Happy birthday!" And in the background, instead of someone giving a child an apple, there's me in a glass cage filled with bees going, "Oh God, the pain! Oh God, I want to die! Oh God!" Or me throwing up 10 grubs as 10 living creatures emerge from my mouth.
There is actually another guy giving an apple to a child, and that enrages you.
Bastard, that should have been my job.
Yeah. You could have got that gig as well if you weren't on this show.
I mean, I wouldn't have got that gig because I've fallen so low in my celebrity status. I need to go up a stage to get this gig.
Exactly.
And I think that I was standing there going, I don't know if I'm willing to do either of these tasks. And then I see him. I see this actor who stole my job, what should have been my role, and I'm committed. So I have to choose. Oh, God, is this an unpleasant choice? Not like normal when there's two perfectly happy options that I can go with. The problem is the time it would take. Like, if it was like an instantaneous, like, endure the pain of 1,000 bee stings or have 10 grubs inside your stomach and it just happened in an instant, that wouldn't be so bad. It's the 10 minutes of being stung or 10 minutes of abject fear as bees fly around my face,
Yes.
or 10 minutes or multiple minutes, however long it takes, of eating grubs
Yes.
until they're all done.
That is your choice, yes.
I think, thinking about it, forcing myself to eat 10 grubs would be so unpleasant and so difficult. Like, I'd eat one and I'd just be like, oh God, that's horrible and disgusting. I don't think I'd be able to force myself to finish. Whereas sticking my head into the cage, I just have to sit there and grin and close my eyes and bear it for 10 minutes. I don't have to force myself to swallow. I don't have to force myself to keep going. I just stay put for 10 minutes and endure the pain. Also,
Exactly.
eating 10 grubs will probably take me longer than 10 minutes.
Probably. It might take you a few hours.
It
People
would
would get
take
bored
me
and
up.
switch off, yeah.
Probably I'd eat a grub and then throw it up, and then I'd have to pick that same grub up and put it back in my mouth.
You would
That would
indeed.
happen. That would happen multiple times.
So you're eating more than 10 grubs.
Oh no, I don't think it counts as eating 2 meals if you eat a meal, throw it up, and then eat it again. That's just one meal.
Yeah, but it's the process. The process you'll be
That
doing
is
more
true.
than
Yeah,
10 times.
I'd have eaten twice. Yeah, you're right.
Yes. Although, and like you say, you can pretend to be a bee. You've got your bee makeup on.
Exactly. I'm going to paint myself to look like a bee and try and infiltrate the bees, and hopefully they'll accept me as one of their brothers.
Hey guys, pollen's good, right? Yeah? Yeah? Stamens? Yeah? Yeah? We're all on the same level here? Yeah?
I hate those beekeepers. Am I right, lads?
Bloody beekeepers, eh? Yeah, I'm one of you. Buzz, buzz, eh? Buzz, buzz.
I mean, I'd also, for no reason whatsoever, pretend to be a teenager. Hey, fellow teenage bros, how's it hanging? Oh,
But
swing.
But knowing you, Nathan, you'd try and be like a teenager from the 90s. You'd be like, you're right, fam. How's it going, mate? How's it going, blood?
Oh, you got any of those poker buzz cards?
Yeah, everyone knows that bees love poker buzz.
So I have decided to stick my head into the cage full of bees, try and infiltrate the bees, and hope for the best. And I think you can tell, Kyle, from my face how well that plan has turned out.
I have actually turned off your camera on my screen because I couldn't bear to look at you any longer.
There's so many stung bumps on my face that my face is just one giant bump.
It is, but then it's melded in with all of that bee makeup that you got the guy to put on you, so you just look terrifying. You're like a Batman villain.
So, I no longer have a face. The doctors tell me this is incurable. They said if only you'd had your second vaccine, those bees would never have been able to hurt you.
If only you were immortal like me.
Exactly, but I haven't had my second vaccine yet. It's happening in a couple of weeks. Here's hoping that 2 vaccines for designed specifically to battle a respiratory illness will cure me of my 10 million bee stings on my face.
Here's hoping, but
the doctor has told me that's medically impossible. But what do doctors know?
Exactly. If you want real facts, you come to this show.
Exactly. You've got a medical problem, come to this show. Ignore what the doctor says. Please don't ignore what doctors say. And just do what we say. Don't do what we say.
Do exactly as we do. Copy us in every way, shape and form.
Oh, no. I don't want to be responsible for this many deaths. Not again. I've told you, I'm turning my life around. You can't be a F-list celebrity and a puppy murdering serial killer. It's just not a good brand.
No, you've taken on the good guy persona now, and I'm the crazy one.
Yeah,
who murders puppies.
I mean, I'm hoping if I can't be cured of this horrible stung mess of a face, I'm hoping I'll have such a unique look that I'll become a celebrity because of it.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I might not be able to get as many jobs as an extra because in the back of Coronation Street, if a giant stung monster elephant man walked up and gave an apple to a small child, it might distract from the plot a little bit.
Yeah, when the child is screaming and running away.
Yeah, from my face, it's just like sweating pus.
Yeah, it kind of ruins the show. But maybe
of this scene, I fall to my knees and go, "No, I'm a man. I'm not a monster. I'm not a monster."
And then someone hands you a BAFTA.
And this is all in the background. In the foreground, it was Shelley and Deirdre arguing about their like one of them's been cheating on their husband with one of them.
Yes, you know soaps.
I know soaps.
Yeah, but your performance will be so good that you will then become an even bigger celebrity because of it.
Yeah, then they're actually doing my own show called Pity the Disgusting Freak, which is just a show about me in a glass cage as people walk up to me and go, "Oh my God." And they show the reaction shots and the tears strolling down my face.
Yeah, just every now and then they do a close-up of your eyes as tears dribble down.
Which is very, very tricky to get to. It's like really hidden under the swollen mess.
Well, it's very tricky to get a cameraman to get in that close and not pass out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there is like the cameramen are wearing nuclear safety hazard material gear. So that's been my week in my ongoing goals of becoming an F-list celebrity. I'll get there one day. One day, whole world will vaguely recognise what my face looks like and think he's been in something, but I'm not sure what. One day. But you, Kyle, you've also had a bit of a week that's culminated in this day, which is a Monday. You have been meditating, finding your inner calm, your peace. Your mind has been focused. Your legs are wrapped around your own head in a way that doctors would think that you don't have any bones. And you've hired a local band of whales to sing to you.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, the angelic voices of the band. What was the band's name again, Carl?
Whaley Big Fish.
Whaley Big Fish and the Blowholes. And they're just singing this beautiful choir. All they're screaming, "Oh God, we can't breathe, we're on land, please put us in the ocean, we're going to die." One of the two things is happening. They're either singing you a beautiful choir or they're screaming for their lives.
Either way, it sounds beautiful to me, and I'm relaxed.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And because of all of this, you, Kyle,
yes,
you have reached total enlightenment.
I have indeed. I am above everyone.
All the secrets of life and the universe have been revealed to you. There are no questions you cannot answer. Like, for example, what day of the week do we usually record this podcast on? You know the answer because you're enlightened.
I was about to say, but no. Wait till the end of the episode.
Yeah, but you wait. That's the new hit of the show is when Carl reveals one of the answers to the universe's greatest questions. Like what day of the week our podcast is usually recorded on. With enlightenment comes ascension of your consciousness, and you become pure thought. This leads to two possible outcomes. You are bouncing from mind to mind, experiencing the dreams and desires of everyone else in the world with no control of what direction these fantasies will take. You're living purely off of their whims and desires. Or you exist in a dreamscape of your imagining that is completely made from you, and your every thought and desire forms the world around you.
Wow. So this week I've actually come up trumps. I've actually done well. This is a surprise.
You have ascended to a higher level of being.
Yes, I am.
I'm actually talking to you right now in a church.
What, you're sitting in a church, are you? I knew that.
I came in to beg God to kill me because of my horrible affliction, but I actually ended up communicating with you, who's now a higher power.
Yeah, like you can talk to a higher power and record their voices, but you have to turn everything down a few pitches so that you can get it to sync up and work for a podcast.
Yes,
it's very complicated stuff, but you'll figure it out, Nathan.
I thank you. Your words of wisdom are the beacon I need in this life. Yes, you are now pure energy, pure thought, and you can either your physical body is comatose. Basically, your physical body dies, but your mind survives outside of that body.
I don't need it, Nathan.
You don't
holding me back.
Exactly. You can now travel anywhere and everywhere you want around the world, but you have to enter people's minds to do it.
So I can live vicariously through all these people, see all their thoughts, their dreams.
But
I can live their dreams.
You don't have control over them. When you enter their minds, you can see through their eyes, you can feel their thoughts and their emotions, but you don't have any control over what they're doing, any influence. You basically live through their eyes. But if you go into someone's body and they're not living a life that you like, you can go and join another body.
Exactly. I can be a famous rock star rocking on stage one night, living through that guy's body who knows how to play the guitar. I don't have to learn how to do it. He already knows.
Yeah.
Entire audience loving him, playing all night long, taking all these crazy drugs, having some weird trips.
So this rock star is Lionel Richie.
It's Lionel Richie.
But yes, you can jump into any body you want and live any life that you want, but you don't have control over what they do, what they say, what they think. You are kind of you're at their whim and you're at their mercy. Or you can enter an imaginary world like that is indistinguishable from reality to you, but it is not real. It is a pure dreamscape, but it can look and sound like anything you want it to be. But it is formed from your very imagination and your desires, and is mostly instinctual. You don't actually have like complete control over it. Like maybe like if you think, oh, I fancy a sandwich just appears in front of you. It's not something you have complete control of. How what you're thinking, if you're in a bad mood, the world will become a living hell.
It will be a very stormy, evil place.
Exactly.
But say I want to be a rock star there, I'm suddenly a rock star and I can play the guitar and I can play my own songs.
Unless that seed of doubt in the back of your mind that tells you that you're not good enough to be a rock star, if that thought gets strong enough, suddenly you'll start bombing out and everyone will start throwing tomatoes at you, rotten apples. I'll be walking by in the background giving an apple to a small child, and then I'll turn and throw the apple at your face.
Yeah. You pretend to give it to him. You feign giving an apple to a child, and instead you turn and launch it at my forehead.
Whereas if you've really filled with confidence and you think you're doing great, and I'm in the background giving an apple to a small child, and then I break open the apple to reveal flowers, and I throw the flowers at you.
Yes.
The laws of physical reality don't have to apply to this world.
No, it does sound fantastical yet terrifying, because yes, 1 minute I could be having the greatest time ever, but then I remember,
you remember an embarrassing memory from your childhood, and suddenly you're right back there. But because of how memories work, you've exaggerated this embarrassment to the 1,000th degree. Like you were at school one day, you walked up to the girl that you liked, and then you tripped and your trousers fell and your underwear fell off, and a bird flew into your penis.
When you say flew into my penis, you mean like bashed into it, not flew straight up it?
Not up it, but it went beak first.
Beak first. Oh, okay. So, and I was completely naked. This is the content everyone's tuned in for, Nathan.
You were able to remove the bird. You did have a penis birdectomy, which is the official doctor's term. But this memory has lived with you for a long time.
Okay, so yeah, I'm having a bad day. I remember that, and all of that happens to me, and I can't break out of it. Or I can just jump around into random people's bodies, enjoying life, enjoying different lives. I could be a woman. I could be could I be animals?
You could be animals? Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. I could run in the fields as a dog. I could have a whale at a time. I could be a whale having a whale of a time.
You could be a whale. Just don't go into one of the whales of, what was it?
Whaley Big Fish.
Whaley Big Fish and the blowholes.
That was it.
Don't go into one of their bodies, because then you'll experience what it's like to dehydrate to death.
Yeah, well, I have control over where I go, so I would go to all the nicest people, have all the greatest experiences, go to someone who's eating like the fanciest dinners.
This isn't something I'd considered, but if you go into someone else's mind and they die,
yes,
I think you would die with them.
Okay, so I can't go into anyone who's very old, looks like they're going to have a heart attack, looks ill.
You can, but you just have to remember to jump out of their body before they die. So you'd have to know,
if I feel
the risk of if someone gets randomly hit by lightning or a bus crashes into them and they die instantly. If you don't see death coming, you don't have the time to jump out of their body.
Yeah, so there is.
I will say there is a geographical element to it. You can't go from a body in Britain to Australia straight away. You'd have to actually circle the world in thought transmissions.
Yeah, so when I'm not in someone else's body, I'm just like in the atmosphere, and I'm sort of traveling around, seeing everything. Okay, I still like the idea of this, because I could become absolutely anyone. I could live through anyone's eyes. The only thing is, like you say, I can't control anything that's happening. I can't
No.
physically
If you go
do
into
the thing.
someone's body and they're committing a heinous crime, they're putting peanut butter on a biscuit, and you can't stop them.
No. And then they go to eat it, and I have to try and jump out of their body before they eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
You're inside their mind, just going no.
Terrifying. See, there are some downsides to this, but then there are lots of upsides, because the amount of things you could do. I could be a bird soaring through the sky. Then I could be.
Exactly.
Then I could be. I don't know. What's something amazing?
A Godzilla.
I could be a Godzilla, because Godzillas exist apparently. I could.
You could be a King Kong.
I could be a King Kong. I could be an ape running through the forest. I could be.
You could be a King Kong and a Godzilla. You could jump from King Kong to Godzilla and make them fight each other.
I couldn't make them fight each other, though, could I? Because I can't control them.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I could only do that in my dreamscape. If I wanted to see a giant Godzilla fighting a giant King Kong, I could imagine that, and then it would happen before my eyes.
Yes. But then, if you lost control of your imagination, they might turn on you, the giant King Kong and the giant Godzilla.
Yeah, if I was like, oh, actually, they look kind of dangerous. I hope they don't come after me. They would both turn in unison and point at me.
Exactly.
Get him! And they would both have voices now somehow.
I was going to say, they both sound like New York gangsters all of a sudden. Get him. He's going to be sleeping with the fishes. This is what New York gangsters sound like, apparently.
Fantastic. So I've got to weigh up whether it's better to live in a world where I can create absolutely anything, have any experience I want, but bad things will happen if I have negative thoughts, or...
If you lose control of your own thoughts.
Yes, if I let my thoughts get away from me.
Exactly. So whereas the other world is, the other life you can live is anyone's life you want, but what they do and think and feel is up to them, and you have no control whatsoever. So in one world you have some element of control, but sometimes it can slip away from you.
Yeah.
The other world you have no control, apart from the fact that you can choose which body you live in.
And like I said, you said I could be animals, so I can be absolutely anything.
Yes.
I could be president one day. I could be a cat sitting on a porch the next.
Then you can be like a one of those flies that only lives for one single day. You can be
again. I would have to jump out of them before they die.
Exactly. Yes. You could be one of those insects that like live. You could be a parasitic worm that lives inside of a bird's brain.
Do I feel all of the feelings that the people have, or do I just see things? I do feel things.
No, you experience all of their feelings.
Okay, so eating
it's kind of like
foods.
Second-hand feelings. Like you're aware they're not yours, but you're seeing through their eyes, you're feeling through their bodies.
Yeah.
So any physical pain they feel, you feel. Like if you jump into someone's body, because if you jump into someone's body and they then immediately get kicked in the balls, you feel it. Feel the pain in your phantom balls.
Exactly, my phantom balls. There's the title for the episode.
That's the title of my erotic thriller.
Of course.
Where a ghost drags his balls across the carpet.
Lovely. Alternatively, though, Nathan, any pleasure that they feel, I would be feeling as well.
Exactly.
So you got to weigh up these things. And obviously, if there was like some pain, like I would get the initial pain, then I would jump out of the body. That guy is still dealing with the pain, but I've fucked off to the next guy. The guy who kicked him in the balls. And I'm feeling the pleasure of having kicked someone in the balls.
Exactly.
This is a tough one this week, because I really like the idea of having my own dreamscape and being able to create whatever I want, any situations I want.
You don't have to live on Earth. You could live on the moon. You could be in deep space. You could be a mermaid. You could be a Z-list celebrity. You could be.
I could be handing the apples to the children, Nathan.
Bastard.
Yeah.
That's my job. You're a monster, Kyle.
Oh, yes. Nathan, not only apples, I'm going to be carrying pears as well.
You fiend. Do you know how hard I've been working to give pears to children?
You've been working up to it.
Yeah, they start you off with pomegranates.
Yeah.
And then you can move up to apples, then pears.
And then when you're at the peak, you start giving out watermelons. And that is the classy shit.
That's the classic. Well, the peak is you walk up to a small child and smash a watermelon into their face.
Yes, that is the dream. That is everyone's dream.
That's the background scene, in EastEnders when Boris is telling Teresa. I didn't mean to come up with two Prime Minister names then, but I just did.
Fantastic.
They're telling each other. In fact, no, it is it's the new reality TV show, Prime Minister Island.
Wow, it's like your Celebrity Island, but it's with prime ministers, and they all have to live on the island and fight each other.
Exactly. At least that's what we've told them. What we actually did was kidnap all the prime ministers and throw them on an island, and then forgot about them, and we lived. We achieved world peace.
Yes, there's no film in the cameras whatsoever. They think they're being watched, so they're all on their best behaviour as well. Oh wow, you've just invented world peace, Nathan. Congratulations. Anyway,
you could invent world peace in your imagination.
I could, but then as soon as I think, this is too great, suddenly there would be like a murderer running through my peaceful world.
Exactly. You think, that we could never truly have peace, and then suddenly a million Nazi zombies burst from the ground.
Exactly. I mean,
cyborg zombie Nazis.
But on a good day, I'm riding unicorns through endless space.
Yeah, but then you have a bad thought come into your head, and a unicorn turns around and says, "Your mother never loved you."
And then I have to create my own therapy session all over again.
Exactly.
So I think, actually, considering I started off wanting this dreamscape, I think it's going to be better for me to just be going in all these different bodies and living all these different lives and feeling what it's like to run wild as a horse, like a wild horse. True. Running through the forests. Like I could.
But you don't have control over what they're feeling. If you went into someone's body and they were having like a full existential crisis, like if you went into my body and I'd failed my audition to give the to be able to give the watermelon to that small child, you'd feel the deep searing pain in my soul.
Yeah, no offense, Nathan, I'm not going to be jumping into your body, don't worry.
You don't want this peak physical fitness.
You and your bee-stinged, smudged makeup face. No, thank you.
My face is all one giant sting, one giant blob of pussy, sweaty, crying blobs.
I think I would choose wisely. I would pick people that seem to be having a great time, and if they're not, I would jump out of there. And I would experience all these different things.
You'd be looking around and you'd see, that person lives in a mansion with a 1,000 beautiful wives. He must be happy. Then you enter him and it's like, they don't know my deep, painful secret. Well, bye! And you zoom off.
Exactly. I don't stick around to find out. I'm not in it for the drama. I'm in it for the pleasure.
Like, he's standing in front of the mirror monologuing his secret origin. If only they knew the truth.
The truth that could end everything. It could change the world for the... forever.
The pain that lives inside of me that man can never know.
Bye! And I just zoom off to the next guy. So yes, Nathan, I am going to become this being that can travel into any person, any animal in the world, and I'm going to be unto a god.
Fantastic. Care to tell us whose body you're currently inhabiting?
I'm inhabiting a guy who is very similar to me,
because obviously you have no control. So, when I learnt that you were comatose and unresponsive, I thought, well, I need a new best friend and cast auditions.
And you hired this guy,
exactly, who looks and sounds a lot like Kyle.
I got my name legally changed to Kyle Bennett just so that it would all be square.
I convinced him that his previous identity and family did not matter. And then I convinced him to get plastic surgery to look exactly like Kyle.
You did take me to that weird retreat for a couple of weeks, and it goes kind of blank in my head there. But
and then I've put the real Kyle Bennett's body in my freezer, and I've convinced Kyle's family that he's still alive.
Yeah, I can't actually remember agreeing to any of this, but I...
You just remember being in the car park, and then suddenly a hand comes in front of you, and everything goes black.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I mean, oh God, it's lucky that I came along. I saw someone trying to chloroform you, Kyle, and then your new best friend, rescued you. That's what happened. It was amazing.
I thank you for saving my life then.
God knows what that nefarious man would have done with you if I wasn't there.
Well, I think we're wrapping up. We're getting to the end of the show, and I think the people have been waiting and dying to know.
They've been waiting for one of the most guarded secrets in all creation.
The thing is, Nathan, I'm thinking now, though, that now we've forced people to get to the end of the show. They've already got here. So why don't we save it for the next episode?
Oh, brilliant. Promise the audience something and then betray them. The perfect way to gain an audience.
Exactly, and now we can get people to tune into the next episode.
It's like when you tie a piece of string to money and wave it in front of the destitute and poor.
I know, people are morons. They'll do anything we say.
I mean, I did chase that $5 bill for 5 months, and then when I did finally find it, I walked into the bank and realised that $5 means nothing in this country.
Especially not in this country, no. Even if it wasn't, it's not very much, Nathan.
It's really not very much. I wasted so many months.
Yeah, to waste that many months where you could have been working and getting like £10 an hour.
So have you decided that we're not going to tell the audience what day of the week we record our podcast on?
I think we should save it for next week. Get the audience amped up.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's like, what day could it possibly be?
The day that it is. I'm thinking it right now. Are you thinking it?
I'm thinking it.
And they don't know. They don't know.
They don't know. those idiots, those losers.
Fucking morons.
Exactly. Imagine how stupid they must feel that they went, oh, this podcast is shit. Oh, there's a mystery I'm going to find out the answer to at the end of it. And then we don't tell them.
No. Yep. So tune in
next week. We'll
definitely
tell you next week.
Definitely. 100%. We're not lying at all. We will definitely tell you.
I swear on Kyle's life, who definitely isn't a frozen corpse in my freezer.
Exactly. We'll tell you at the beginning of the next episode. If you disagree with anything we've said today, I don't know how you could, because it's all true, it's all perfect, and we've told you everything that we need to tell you, then you can let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the episode, then please follow and subscribe to the podcast on Patreon. You can find it at patreon.com/ifyouhad to, though. You can follow me on Twitter at Kyle M. Bennett. That's Kyle_M_Bennett with 2 N's and 2 T's.
You can follow me at N Wozniak Art, which is N for Nathan, WOZNIAK, and then art, spelled like art is usually spelled. Or you can follow me on Instagram at Nathan, then Wozniak.
And I do recommend checking out Nathan's Instagram, because it is all photos of him handing apples to children. Like every single photo that he uploads.
Exactly. And now it's just photos of me in my misshapen face.
Yeah, so if you want to see that handsome mug, then head on over there. This has been If You Had To, though. I've been Kyle.
And you always will be, and always have been, and you definitely weren't originally Dennis Borison.
Dennis Borison?
No, he doesn't exist. He's never existed. He's dead.
I'm remembering things.
No!
What did you do?